In this video, we're going to talk about the possibility of Apple launching its own smart glasses to compete with the Ray-Ban Meta. Before we start, leave a comment below. Do you believe that smart glasses could be a replacement for you to get off your phone screen? And if money wasn't an issue, would you rather buy smart glasses like these Ray-Ban Meta I'm wearing, which can take photos, record videos, and let you talk to artificial intelligence? Or would you prefer those big headsets, those large glasses for watching movies, series, gaming, working, basically the ones you use more at home, like the Apple Vision Pro or the Meta Quest? Leave your comment below, I want to know. Let's go straight to my computer screen. Just a reminder, I'm going to show you the Google Glass I have here. Look, I bought it at launch, which ended up being a flop for Google, but now they're set to release their new glasses together with Samsung at the end of the year. We're going to talk about everything in this video. I've brought in a specialist, one of the top Apple experts from the US. He'll be sharing his thoughts on the possibilities and predictions, and you can keep commenting down below with me, all right? Shall we get started? 3, 2, 1, go. But the smart glasses war is heating up because a recent report from Mark Gurman at Bloomberg claims that Apple is expected to launch its own smart glasses by the end of 2026, which is next year. These glasses would be Apple's answer to the Meta Ray-Bans and potentially a response to the Android XR glasses I tried out in the video I posted from Google I/O and everything. Okay, let's go. Just to explain, the Ray-Ban Meta is this one here that I'll show in a moment, okay? And these XR is the evolution. I wish they'd call it Google Glass, right? Anyway, but it's the evolution here, the spiritual successor to Google Glass. But let's keep going here. What I said back then is still true. Apple feels incredibly behind when it comes to Gemini's features, which are exactly what wearables need to drive this product category forward. Will Apple Siri and Apple Intelligence be able to make a big enough leap to do something similar by 2026? Because it seems like a really daunting task based on what we know right now. Apple's smart glasses should include cameras, microphones, and AI features. German also says that the glasses will take photos, record videos, provide translations, give step-by-step instructions, play music, answer phone calls, and give feedback on what the user is seeing. Let's pause on this point here because it's quite interesting. In your opinion, first of all, considering how much Apple values privacy, do you think they'll be bold enough to include a camera? Because most glasses, they don't record videos or take photos, right? They don't record videos and they don't take photos. In this case here, look, I can press here and take a photo. The camera is here on my left side to record and film. And here on the right side, there's an LED. It's not a camera here. It's a privacy LED so people know you're filming or recording. I can press the button or say, hey, Meta, take a picture. And you can see that it lit up here. And I can also record by pressing and holding here, or by telling it to record using Llama, which is Meta's artificial intelligence. So that's the first question. Do you think Apple will have the guts to put a camera for recording and taking photos? Because there is a solution where you can put a camera not for filming or taking pictures, but to recognize the environment. Here on my Ray-Ban glasses, if I look at something and ask what I'm looking at, it will describe it to me. Besides that, if I want to say something like, for example, a concert, right? I look at a poster, I look at a movie, something like that. I can not only ask what it is, but I can buy it. I can ask for the price. So there is the possibility of having a camera, but not for taking pictures or filming, but to interact with the environment. Okay? So there is this possibility that, in my opinion, could be a safer path for Apple. And then there's problem number 2, which is the main one. Apple Intelligence is crap. It's really dumb. And Siri has never worked. So how are you going to have smart glasses if the artificial intelligence, Apple Intelligence, or Apple Intelligence is dumb? It's not intelligent. It's not like Llama or Gemini, which in this case will be coming to Google's glasses. Share your opinion in the comments below. We'll dive deeper into this topic in a bit. Let's go. But they didn't include any augmented reality features. So it's nothing we haven't seen before, but done in Apple's way. Siri should also be an essential part of the experience and is expected to improve significantly. German says that the glasses are similar to the current Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, but with a better finish. And it's still unknown who Apple will partner with for the frames, if they partner with anyone at all. We know that Meta has Ray-Ban smart glasses. Then We have the Android XR announcements with Gentle Monster and Warby Parker. These are... okay, just to comment here, sorry to interrupt, but Meta just confirmed. I made a video about this that I'll now have to update, but Meta has actually announced that in July, they will launch the Oakley Meta. So now, in addition to Ray-Ban, Meta is going to make glasses. So the Ray-Ban is something more mid-range premium. The Oakley will be for extreme sports enthusiasts. And Meta has already confirmed a partnership with Prada, which will be high-end, high design, right? It will be glasses more for people who care about design, about the signature, and so on. So there will be these three categories. So this issue of the finish is excellent, right? It has nothing to do with that. This idea that Apple will have better finishing anyway. And if it does, speaking of components, then it will cost over $2,000 or $3,000. And then no one will be interested, just like with the Apple Vision Pro, which no one cared about. I'll talk about prices later.
Two giants in the eyewear industry. So what will Apple do? You know, throughout 2024, I talked about what Apple needed to do with the Apple Vision Pro to make an impact in the wearable space. And one of the things I insisted on was creating a low-tech, more accessible version of the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, but in Apple's style. And it seems like that's exactly what they're doing. The Bloom report says that Apple is targeting a launch for the end of 2026. And work on the smart glasses has ramped up. The plan is to produce large quantities of prototypes by the end of this year, before mass production and the official launch next year. And we also have to consider Apple's pricing compared to the rest of the industry. It will probably be higher, and we know how that hurt the Apple Vision Pro. So, after seeing where Google is, the demonstrate eye...
Let's talk now, let's wrap up here with the Google part. Here, the Ray-Ban Meta costs around $300 to $500, depending on the version. And it's already been confirmed that the Oakley will be exactly the same price. There are some differences like recording in 3K, which this one doesn't do. This one records in full HD, but now the update will be in 3K. And in the future, there will be another model that will be completely different, which will have the possibility of having a screen allowing you to see a kind of hologram, which is the case with these glasses here. These glasses here, back then later we can confirm the date, but basically they launched the Google Glass. I've removed the lens here, but you could put a lens in if you wanted, just so you can see the design. Look at this. You could also interact with it, give it commands. You'd say, hey Google, take a picture, record a video, and so on. And there's liquid crystal here, which is a screen where I could see Google Maps, where I could watch videos, where I could check emails, and it's transparent. In other words, it doesn't interfere with my view. And that's exactly what's going to happen now with augmented reality glasses. I'll be able to, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but when you're on Google Maps and you can turn on the augmented reality arrow, you see it right in front of you. So basically that's it. An email comes in, then the map pops up, a notification appears. So it's amazing. Now, I'm just not sure if, for now, there will be the possibility to interact with your hands, like with headsets, you know? Meta has already shown a project where, with glasses like these, you can interact with your hands using a bracelet you wear here. Anyway, Google launched this, but it wasn't the right time because the battery wasn't enough. It ran out quickly. Besides that, there wasn't a partnership with Prada, or with Oakley, or with Ray-Ban either. So you look like Robocop here, but look at when it was released. Check this out. Google Glass launch. So look, these glasses are from 2014, which means 2014 was 11 years ago, right? 11 to 12 years ago. And look, it had here, see, the regular lens, and it also had the dark lens, which is mine. This one here, a darker lens. And the thing is, the problem was that it was really big and you have this thing here in front, right? And with this thing in front, you end up looking like Robocop. You look like Tony Stark, right? Anyway, it projects a kind of hologram, but it's not that you see it more or less like this, a bit bigger. Just a reminder, everyone, we've started our channel membership club. If you become a level 1 member here, you'll get early access to videos and I'll reply to your comments with priority. Now, if you're a level 2 member, in addition to all those benefits and having exclusive videos for level 2 members, you can also make a post in the community. Anyone who's subscribed can now make a post with a photo, okay? That's something new. Now, if you make a post asking for some consulting, some advice about your channel, how to make money, which AIs I use, basically any consulting or strategic question in your post, if you're a level 2 member here in our channel club, you'll get my response with priority, okay? So become a member any level already helps the channel, and it also helps you because I'll give you these benefits. But starting from level 2, I'll respond to your post with priority, okay? Continuing here in this video presentation, let's get back to the significant evolution specifically, the ongoing evolution that's now the established partnership between Google and Samsung to make a comprehensive comparison with the future. Perhaps the Apple Glass, right? Let's go! These are live and practical experiences I've had with Android XR glasses. Apple will really have to impress us a lot to surpass the competition. And all this competition is a good thing. We have Meta, Samsung, Google, and Apple. And there are other formats like Xreal and Ray Neo, all trying to create appealing solutions in this space, either focusing on this or doing it in a different way in some cases. But my mindset when it comes to Apple is, well, I'll believe it when I see it, and I don't doubt that they can come up with something compelling. But when we talk about wearables and AI, the fact is that Apple is quite behind in these areas right now, but we'll see how they might close that gap. Will we see something that points toward this new future of wearables at WWDC 25? Because Apple has sent out its official invitations, and I'll be there on site to report on everything Apple announces. So, I don't know, maybe 2026, but I'd push it to 2028. You know why? Man, Apple hasn't even released its foldable iPhone yet. Not even its foldable iPhone. At the last event, at WWDC 2025, they forgot. They barely talked about Apple Intelligence. They didn't even mention Siri, and they kept distracting us with a smoke screen, showing off a kind of transparent glass design and all that, but it was just design, zero innovation. So you're going to go from zero innovation to advanced artificial intelligence, and then to having advanced glasses like these here, which are already on the market. This is a new release, right? I bought it at the end of last year, but there was a previous version called the Ray-Ban Stories. So this evolution has already been going on for about 4 or 5 years. And now you're going to tell me that Apple, out of nowhere, right, is going to launch something, is going to advance artificial intelligence and announce glasses for 2026? I find that very hard to believe. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. We already know that Apple is behind in the AI race in the wearable space and in smart glasses. They're behind in that too. Jony Ive and his new partnership with Sam Altman's OpenAI teasing a new product that will completely reinvent what it means to use a computer. I talked about this partnership. By the way, Jony Ive is the guy who designed the iPhone, the MacBook, the iMac, right? The computer over there. So they teamed up with OpenAI, which is currently the main reference in artificial intelligence. In other words, Google Gemini is one of the best, if not the best. ChatGPT is one of the best, if not the best. So everyone is making progress, and Apple still doesn't have an artificial intelligence. What's the solution? For me, it would be a partnership. They could pay to use Gemini initially, at least until Apple Intelligence evolves. But at the event, they didn't mention any partnership, and they're still sticking with Apple Intelligence, but they barely said anything about it. Basically, the only thing was simultaneous translation using Apple Intelligence. That's it. Big words, but it seemed like it was just a very well-produced bromance video where two Silicon Valley guys got excited without actually announcing anything. The announcement was basically that they loved each other. Even this photo here looked like they were announcing that a new baby was on the way. And you know what? Maybe there is one, but the big lesson is, have we ever seen Ives this excited about someone or something since Steve Jobs? I don't think so. We simply haven't. And reports claim that this third main device after the MacBook and the iPhone from Ives won't have a screen. It's a device you'd wear around your neck, a bit bigger than Humane's discontinued earring pin, but with a look as compact and sleek as an iPod Shuffle. It would have microphones for voice control and cameras that can see the user's surroundings, as well as connect to smartphones and computers. The product is expected to go into mass production in 2027. I prefer glasses. But for example, these glasses here don't have a screen, and you can talk, you can ask questions, you can, well, interact with the world. The difference is that instead of not having a screen, it has a camera, and the camera sees for me and communicates in my ear. So what if it's not glasses? but something like an iPod Shuffle, for example, right? A tiny little device, it will definitely have a camera and you'll have to hang it somewhere that obviously can't be too visible. But the camera has to be visible enough so it can tell you what's happening and you can interact, ask questions, and communicate with it, you know? And it has to be fast. Different from Sam Altman even said that, for example, if you want to talk to ChatGPT, you have to open your computer, you have to take the computer out of your bag, open it up, turn it on, open ChatGPT, and then ask your question. But with the glasses, no, you just speak and it already responds. And it's just there naturally on your body. You don't need to go and grab it. So if you have a brooch or something with a camera, it's right there, that's fine. The only problem is if it has a microphone, people will hear what you're saying. And then you have the privacy issue. Here, my glasses talk to me and no one else hears. So you'd have to carry that brooch along with you, right? With this iPod Shuffle, you'd have to have an earphone. You'd have to use two devices, and the earphone isn't as natural as glasses, right? So I believe for me that glasses are the best solution for getting away from the phone screen. Some of you might be rolling your eyes a bit. Look, I'm still not convinced of anything, but the partnership is fascinating, and you can't just ignore an OpenAI and Jony Ive joining forces. Now, if we look at other challenges that Apple is also facing, no one could have predicted that Tesla's fortunes would change like this.
But what a perfect moment it would have been for Apple to have a car ready to launch in the next year or two, right? Unfortunately, that project, which lasted more than 10 years, never materialized. And reports say that one of the problems was not having AI good enough for its car camera systems, among other issues. But look, at the end of the day, this is a huge missed opportunity for them now and potentially in the future. And you also have President Trump threatening a 25% tariff on Apple smartphones unless they manufacture iPhones in the US, which would make the phone's price skyrocket.
Well, just imagine Apple's prices going up, right? And remember, several experts have already said that today it's impossible to build an iPhone in the United States because there are components that simply aren't available there, right? There's no supply chain to manufacture it there. So yeah, the price will go up and it's just not feasible, right? So I also don't see what Apple could do is buy an AI company. They could buy an artificial intelligence company, make some adjustments, bring in the whole team, and simply build Apple Intelligence based on an AI that's already good. For example, they could go and buy Perplexity, for instance, and then integrate it, building something from an AI that's already solid. Just giving an example here, right?
I doubt they'll do that. You have your long-standing legal battles around the App Store. And now, more influence than ever from external agencies like the European Union, which are affecting how Apple does business and even the ports they use in their product. So there's a lot coming at Apple from all these different directions. More than before and more than I can remember happening at the same time. But we'll see how they handle this in 2025 and how all of this actually unfolds after that. Now, one way to deal with this is simply to focus on what's important and prioritize your efforts on making new, innovative products that people want. We've already talked.
What exactly would I do to effectively wrap up this particular video at the significant iPhone event, which typically happens at the very end of September? They strategically put it at the absolute end of the entire presentation, much like the iconic Steve Jobs used to do. And he would then dramatically announce the famous one more thing, right? One more thing. And then they would announce the glasses, show the design, but not reveal much else, which could overshadow the launch of Google's glasses in partnership with Samsung, right? So it would steal some of the spotlight. Of course, it would still sell because announcing something is one thing, launching it is another. But it would give Apple users a bit of hope for innovation since it's been a long time that they've been waiting for something new and nothing has happened. But I want your opinion. Do you really think Apple is going to launch a pair of glasses? If they do you think it's coming soon? Or do you think it's still far off? Did you like the almost fell moment here? Did you like my Google Glass here? Do you think you would use it? Is it interesting? Leave a comment below. And if you want to know more about the new Ray-Ban Meta launch and other artificial intelligence innovations, I'll leave these recommendations here for you. Remember, become a channel member, and at level 2 you can make any post in our community and I'll respond with priority. Okay? See you in those recommendations. See you soon.